What's happening, everybody? Sean Daniel with Guitar Control here. Today, we are taking a walk down the key of D and using the open chords in conjunction with the notes in the key to maybe spice up your rhythm guitar playing, or how to maybe add a little bit of lead playing to whatever it is that you're doing. So make sure you click the link below, because I'm going to tab out everything we need for this lesson. And essentially, we're going to start with the D major chord, okay? Now, there are other chords that populate the key of D major. Right now we're going to start by just moving around this one chord, alright? So, middle finger, 2nd fret on the high E string, ring finger, 3rd fret on the B string, pointer finger, 2nd fret on the G string, and an open D note, the open D string, right? Now, there's so much that we can do just around this one chord, and basically, this is going to be the parent chord in the key of D major, alright? Maybe you've seen other videos that we've done about the major scale, like for example, the D major scale would look like this. The way to do that is going to be, and again this is in the tab too, it's the A string, 5-7, which is a D note and an E note, the first two notes. The D string is 4-5-7, F sharp, G, A, and then the G string is 4-6-7, B, C sharp, D. Now the thing about this interesting, it's actually in a totally different position from here. So now you can combine these, but it's maybe not the most efficient way to do it. It's great if maybe you're on your way to another part of the guitar neck to play it that way, but I want to play these notes in an open position that makes more sense over here, okay? So we're going to take those same notes, but play them with the open D first. Open D string, 2nd fret on the D string is going to be next. There's our E note. And then the 4th fret is after that. So D, E, F sharp, open 2-4. Exact same thing is going to happen on the G string. G, A, B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be able to do that forward and backwards. Those are the first 6 notes of the D major scale. One thing you may have noticed already, if we name the notes, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, this one right here is the same as open B. So you could play it open 2-4, open 2, open, but I really want to get that 4th fret there, okay? The reason we want to do that is because it really opens up a lot of cool hammer-on and pull-off opportunities, okay? So what I mean by that is when we have 3 notes on one string, you may have heard the term 3 notes per string. This is a good way to look at that. We can actually strike the string once, that D string, hammer on to the 2nd fret with maybe the pointer finger, and then continue and hammer onto the 4th fret. So I'm actually striking the string once, but I'm getting 3 notes out of it. And you can actually get a lot of speed up on something like that, right? Because again, the energy of the string is doing all the work for you, and then you do the same with pull-offs. Now you notice I'm not just leaving the string, otherwise you're not going to hear anything. I'm pulling off. Like that, okay? So you can do that on both the D and the G strings. Hammer on, pull off. Okay? Now, we can continue the scale on the 2nd fret of the B string to the 3rd fret, and there's our octave D, which is in that D major chord, okay? So what I want to do is I want to run through all the notes and then end on a D chord. Okay, so first you want to be able to do that. Once you can do that, I want you to really just visualize specifically these 6 notes as targets that you can add to a D major chord. So maybe like strum the chord twice. Now it sounds just like an exercise, but you know, it's kind of musical because we're adding an open chord with notes in the key. Now, once you get comfortable knowing where those are, then maybe you can do more interesting things to experiment with them, right? So maybe like... Now, the same can be said for the notes on the high E string. other notes in that key, again, we talked about the actual names of the notes, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and then D again. We can still go on the high E string, E, F sharp, G, A. So open 2, 3, 5, and then if you want to continue on, to 7, keep going, 9, 10. You can kind of keep going and add any of those that are fair game. Now, I don't want to venture too far out here, so we're going to kind of cut it off at the 5th fret, the A on the high E string. Any of those sound really good too. In fact, so many songs employ kind of just taking a D chord and then opening the high E string and then closing it. Right? So many things. And that all comes from just adding little inflections around an open chord because we know where these notes are, right? Again, we could just go through like so many different great songs in like pop culture. That's all using these notes around a D chord very creatively, okay? Now let's not stop there. Let's talk about the B string. We have B, C sharp, and D. So that second note, that C sharp, is an often neglected note in the key of D. Let's actually just inflect that right there, okay? So instead of holding down 2, 3, 2, you can just grab 2, 2, 2 and make a different chord. It's still a D major chord, it's a D major 7 chord, okay? Reason being, because remember the C sharp? That's the 7th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that 7th note makes it a D major 7 chord. What's the 6th note, remember? B. We could add that by just taking your ring finger up, like that, maybe playing those different fingers. That might sound familiar too. Again, so many really iconic songs are just dancing through different chords that you're making just by altering just one single note, right? So that's just all that stuff we've done so far, just using the notes in the D major scale with the one chord in D major, which happens to be D. Now we can do the exact same thing with another important chord in the key of D. Let's go to A major. Okay, so it's open A, 2D, 2G, 2B, however you want to play it. Sometimes I play like this, sometimes I play like a bar chord. It's all about context and where I'm coming from, right? D to A. I guess I kind of like doing like that with my middle finger, 2D, ring finger, 2G, pinky, 2B. And doing that guy right there, right? Now, even though we're playing a different chord in the key of D, we can still utilize all the notes in the key of D on top of that chord. So, just because the chord changes doesn't mean the scale has to change. Okay, so I'm thinking of this A major here, but I remember that on the D string and G string I have open 2-4, open 2-4 that I can use. One cool thing is maybe a little slide, like that. Now as long as I don't slide into that, we don't want that note right there, but you can kind of get the D to the G, and then it just sounds a little bit interesting. Instead of just going D to A, back to D, to A. Let's dress it up a little bit. So, all that was just kind of visualizing these notes and then using them in conjunction with chords. Let's do one more in the key of D. Let's do so again. Let's talk about real quick. This is the 6 main chords in the key of D. We have D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, and then back to D. If you're crazy, if you're wild, you can get that C sharp minor 7 flat 5 in there. But we talked about D, talked about A. Let's maybe talk about G too. Okay, now again, This one right here, middle finger, 3E, pointer finger, 2A. I'm going to play with my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. We have an open D and G string in most voicings of a G major chord, right? Again, just because we're playing G major, we're still thinking in the key of D major. Okay, you'll see D to G to A a lot, basically any AC/DC song, right? So once we're here, let's utilize those open strings, open 2-4, open 2-4 on the D and G string to kind of add to this G chord. I'm just taking my pointer finger, then doing a hammer-on that D string to get that open 2, G chord. Maybe I'll go from the D string to the G string. Okay, now once I get to that G string, I can just... anything is fair game, really. Because also, if we talked about all the notes there in the key of D, one more time, we're going to drill this in your memory. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. The open strings are going to be in that key. So anytime you want to hit open string, all those work. And again, that's just one key. So if anything, this lesson is really more about just kind of visualizing a scale, taking different chords in that scale, in that key, and then using the notes that you have at your disposal to kind of create something musical. It's really not about just learning what I was doing. It's about seeing those notes, applying them to the chords that you already know, and then just trying to make it sound like music, right? Again, the more you do this, the more your ear will develop, and you'll hear examples of this all throughout popular music, all throughout history and time, past, present, future, earth, water, and space. So thanks for watching this. If you have any questions, hit us up in the comment section, and then check out other videos on the Guitar Control channel by myself, other fine instructors, and let us know what you think. Talk to you soon.